This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching? This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Good morning. Welcome in. It is the final week of August here on Sports by the Book, which means we are ever so closer to official week 1 of the college football season, week 1 of the NFL season, and much more. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. We'll have Dwayne Colucci in a few moments, Alex. But fun week 0. Kansas State-Iowa State game, Alex, was the quintessential week 0 game. Horrible turnovers.
Yep.
Pouring rain in the middle of it at one point, but a really wild finish and a good win for the Cyclones on Saturday morning here in the West Coast.
Really good win for the Cyclones, right? And Chris said it on Football Frenzy. He really liked the dog, and it was bet that way, taking the 4, taking the 3.5, and it was definitely the right side. Brutal loss if you had the over, more because of those turnovers that resulted in 0 points. So it's a bad beat to kick off that the football season. You got to love it.
It was one of those weird ones, too, because you mentioned it like, yeah, you had the muff punt that led to no points. You had 2 other drives that ended in the red zone with no points in that game. But then at the end, if you had the under, and look, here at the South Point up at a Rampart 52, it would have been a push. But again, we know how those 2-minute drives when the team's up 10 goes.
Yep.
Soft defense. Probably would have lost, even if you had under 52 at the best of the number. But you had to really sweat at that review where I wasn't certain if it was going to get overturned. It got overturned with them down at the half-yard line. Clock runs out, and Iowa State with a good victory at plus 140 over the weekend. Again, it was a fun slate of games. You worried about UNLV at all?
No, not really.
Just first game, new coach?
I think so.
Okay.
There were definitely some positives to take away from it, too. I mean, how many picks did they have? So defensively, I mean, they turned it around in critical moments there in the red zone and end zone even for picks. But, yeah, I don't know. I will say Kansas looked very good. I don't know if that's more about Fresno.
I think it had more to do with
Kansas.
I think it had more to do with the opponent, but they changed offensive coordinators during the offseason. Grimes left and went to Wisconsin. I don't think it's a coincidence that a Leipold, Zabransky, the new offensive coordinator. I don't think it's a coincidence that someone who was with Leipold the whole time had the offense looking better than someone who came in from the outside and tried to change things a little bit.
Right.
Now, granted, nothing happened in that game. That was a pretty brutal beat on the under because first half was just no one did. Kansas could not be stopped, and then
Right.
it really just slowed to a halt. I had over first quarter. Easiest win I'll have all year. Touchdown on the first drive for Kansas, touchdown on the second drive of the game for Fresno. Their only points of the game, and then Kansas went right down. It was easy in the end. And then Hawaii beat Stanford
That's
at the
what I was
gun.
gonna jump in.
Yeah, boy, Stanford. I don't want to say a team's going to go 0-12, but where are the wins on that schedule if you're now winning at Hawaii as a small underdog?
Hey, they had one drive where they ran out the clock. They ate up about 8 to 9 minutes just running the football all the way down.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can get away with that, they can keep these close at least. But Hawaii bettors are very happy because that was a definite popular pick. Of course, we saw the favorite.
Favorite flipped. It still
Flip.
got there on every number for Hawaii. Total went under as well with landing right at 43. Total was in the high 40s when it was all said and done on the other day. Dwayne, just give us a nod right now. Our good friend, there he is. Our good friend Dwayne Colucci is here right now. Alex White, we'll get to him in a second. Go ahead.
This is a good preview, though, for those that have been following along with us. On Mondays, we will be recapping the whole weekend.
Yep.
Whether it's Dwayne or Chris Andrews or one of the bookmakers will come down too and kind of recap it with us. So it should be a lot of great information. I'm almost even diving into the adjustments made after what we saw Saturday and Sunday when NFL starts.
Absolutely. Again, NFL season starts a week from Thursday. And, of course, we're already underway in the college season, but boy, Saturday and Sunday this weekend, just a mega card throughout the thing. Dwayne Colucci, Rampart Race and Sports book director. Let's just go to him right now. We got him ready. There he is, our good friend with the VGK hat on here today as well. Colucci, good morning. It's good to see you as always. How was Saturday? How did the book do up at your shop on the small card of week 0?
It was pretty good, I'll tell you the truth. The games were, I guess they were okay. I mean, like Alex said, Hawaii was, that was like kind of a sleeper with Stanford with that running the ball. And, I did tout Hawaii, but who didn't? I mean, you saw how the line moved on that. And Stanford does look really up against it this year. I'm not so sure, Alex, about the Rebels, though. I mean, maybe new coach, whatever. But when you're a 30-point favorite and you're struggling and losing at points of the game, 10-0, playing catch up, it's tough to give an endorsement. I know it is a new head coach and we can relax. They got over the hump. They did win the game, but this week will definitely be another test and a telling tale. But it's not a good opponent again, and you're going to see a double-digit favorite for our Rebels. So I'm not so sure until they play a quality opponent how good they really are. But we saw the spike in the handle. Definitely, the handle was definitely increased, Jeff, and that's always a great sign. That's what we look for as bookmakers. All these people to come out for college football, like you said, we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so many different, games. It's going to be very, very difficult, to handicap and get, a concise opinion on this opening week because it's going to be, unbelievable schedule. It's spread across. So we'll see how it plays out.
Let's dive into UNLV a little bit more, Dwayne, because I'm glad you actually mentioned that. When he says, are you worried about competing with Boise State? Absolutely. I mean, I definitely think it's going to take some time. And now the expectations are just so high for this UNLV team that maybe they're a little bit unrealistic coming up against a Boise State team that returns their coach and their quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see how it is. I mean, we're hoping that we can make another bowl game. That's what we love here. And definitely, we want the Rebels to do very well in football and basketball. But, last year was definitely, it got everybody excited and back on the bandwagon. And, their schedule is definitely, favorable if they could get by some of these teams. And they did opening week. I think they will this week as well. But like you said, can they beat Boise? I mean, Boise's changed. Their roster has changed drastically as well. So we'll keep an eye on them as the season goes on. And I think it's going to be exciting for the Rebels. And they definitely have a chance to maybe make another bowl appearance.
Dwayne, I want to start looking at the weekend ahead in college football. And you know what? The diving off portion can start in the Mountain West, actually, because yet again, Boise State going on the road the first week of the year. And this is, again, last year they went on the road Georgia Southern, remember that was a game Genty ran for over 200 yards, and Boise's defense gave up 40 points, but still won comfortably because Genty started his mammoth 2024 campaign. This year, obviously, Ashton Genty's here in Vegas now with the Las Vegas Raiders. Dwayne, this has been one of the more aggressively bet games here at the South Point and up at the Rampart. Boise State, when this came out on July 18th, Boise State opened a 9.5-point favorite. It is down to 6 with the Broncos in Tampa, a 5:30 local start time in Tampa as well. So it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. It's going to still be sunny, and a total of 63 in this one for a weird scheduling spot to begin the year for the Broncos.
Yeah, definitely. And no Genty, like you said. So that's why you see 3.5-point movement. The weather is totally going against what the Broncos should be prepared for, but yet they're still ranked in the top 25, as you could see on the graphic. We're getting plied with South Florida money. You see the 3.5-point move. I think we opened the game at 9.5. Total hasn't really moved. We're sitting 63.5 opener, now at 63 at the Rampart and South Point. But the ticket count early on did come in on South Florida and a lot of sharp action. So, a weird time, definitely a weird setting, but I think Boise still is the better team in this matchup, and they should come out ahead. And hopefully, from my angle, and perspective, they do come out ahead, because we're going to have a lot of parlays with South Florida. They're still betting on them, as you can see how the line is moving. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Boise backers do come out closer to game time. This is another game that is on a Thursday night. Like we said, it's not on the Saturday main card, but definitely one of the feature matchups, and definitely one of the higher handled games this opening week, like you said, Jeff. And, we're going to see how Boise reacts. They were very good last year, but let's see how they are this year.
Dwayne, I want to go to Friday next. And this is one that I know Big 12 people have had circled for a while, and that's Baylor hosting Auburn on a Friday night in Waco. This is another game that has, again, moved all over the place. You guys opened it at 2.5. There's a lot of 2.5s available in the market with Auburn favored on the road. It got bet down to a pick pretty quickly within a week of when this opened. Then about 12 days later, moved back to Auburn 1.5. Total's been pretty stable, 57 to 57.5. A big game for the Big 12, a team in Baylor that finished last year as hot as anyone in the country, and Auburn coming off a monster disappointment a year ago with Hugh Freeze. But again, new quarterback situation. Jackson Arnold comes over from Oklahoma. A lot of people that are sharp that we have had on this show seem to like Auburn to improve as much as anyone in the country this year.
Yeah, that's a major quarterback acquisition, and definitely they have a chance. But the initial reaction was to bet Baylor in this game. And you could see we have the lowest line in town, minus 1.5 on Auburn. And this is a key game, because if you look at their schedule, Jeff, they could definitely go and improve to 3-0 and then face Oklahoma in week 4. So this is a very important game, if you ask me, for Auburn. And they disappointed last year. So, let's see if the new quarterback could stir things up. Initial reaction was the sharp action was on Baylor. Now it's gotten bet back up to 1.5. A lot of shops around town have 2.5. 2.5 was the opener. I think we will see more Auburn action, definitely at the Rampart and South Point, just because of the discounted price. And we also have 57.5 as a total on this game. Very tough matchup opening week for Auburn. We'll see how Baylor is, how they react as well. They're definitely a team that, hard to handicap from my point of view, but the Sharps seem to like them with that initial 2.5. I think then people started to look at things at Auburn and notice their roster is, pretty much intact other than that quarterback situation. And I think they could definitely win this game. I like Auburn as well. I think I would lay up to 2.5. I wouldn't go to that key number of 3. It'll take a lot of money to get to that key number of 3. We'll see how the betting goes throughout the course of the week. This is a Friday night game as well, like you said, Jeff.
Dwayne, it'll be really interesting to see what happens with Colorado this year. Of course, 2 years ago, with Coach Prime's first year, a lot of the Sharps really wanted to fade them. And then last year kind of jumped on board with them, and we saw their line movement really move. In this first one, they are going to host Georgia Tech, which a lot of very respected people like Georgia Tech going into the year. Hasn't really been much movement on the side, but the total has been all over the place. Can you break down that line and what you expect to see for Colorado this year, with betting wise, if people are going to be for them or against them? Of course, now they have Caden Salter coming over from Liberty.
Yeah, it's tough to get a read on Dion. I mean, they lost a lot of star power on the roster. We obviously see that. And, people jump on the bandwagon, people jump off the bandwagon. Total is substantially gone down. So I imagine that the public is feeling that Colorado is going to have some trouble scoring the ball. And I think that, putting the ball in the end zone. I think Georgia Tech is definitely a team that, flies under the radar and can be very impressive this year. I think I'm going to go out on a limb, Alex. I think Georgia Tech blows them out opening week. I mean, I just don't know how Dion is going to get this, core to respond the way he did in the last couple of years. And they're going to be a focal point over the counter. Let me be honest with you, Alex. Everybody watches Dion. He brings a lot of star power to college football. They were definitely the increased handle over the last 3 years on this team has been phenomenal. And I expect the same. Like we said, I think we opened this total at 56.5, and it's down 4 points. So let's see how it plays out. I like Georgia Tech here, Alex. I think it's an easy win for Tech.
Be interesting to see who plays quarterback for Colorado as well. Caden Salter comes over from Liberty. Julian Lewis was a top-notch recruit, true freshman, especially with Michigan earlier today naming Bryce Underwood their starter. We may see a few more true freshmen playing this year. I would lean to what Dwayne is saying. I just think this is a horrible matchup for the Buffs. A team that is physical, a team that plays hard-nosed defense, and a quarterback in Haynes King who's roughly in his 28th year at this point in college football. So
what is he, a 6th-year freshman?
It's funny because when Kansas played over the weekend, Jalen Daniels, who when I texted my dad, like, oh, Jalen Daniels looks like himself today. I was like, oh, is this his 20th year in college? Yeah. This is the last year of the COVID year guys. We're going to be again got an extra year, and then you have injury red shirts as well. So this is really going to be the last of the 6th year seniors in college football this year. All right, DC, let's go to Saturday, and let's go to the big one at the Horseshoe. Number 1 versus number 3. A rematch of last year's semifinal in the Cotton Bowl a year ago that Ohio State, of course, won in dramatic fashion. Buckeyes, Julian Sayin makes his first career collegiate start for Ohio State. Arch Manning, again, had a few starts last year when Quinn Ewers was injured, but now the starter, undisputed. Heisman favorite coming in with not a lot of sample size. Buckeyes are 2 at your shop. That is down from the opener of 3. And the total is down from 50 and a half to 48. Dwayne, it is going to be unseasonably cool in Columbus. We are looking at early October weather of 77 degrees at kickoff in Columbus on Saturday afternoon in August.
I hate when these matchups happen on opening week because it just it takes a little flavor, in my opinion, away from the schedule. I mean, it's a fabulous matchup. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you have the Arch Manning hype. Everybody knows about it. I mean, he did get in there for a couple of games last year. He's definitely going to be a superstar, in my opinion. This is a tough game to handicap. Like you said, I mean, the weather, you take all these, I guess a Heisman candidate into account. I'm having trouble handicapping this game, maybe slightly leaning to number 1, Texas, but, the ticket count is definitely very close, as looking at it, but it's early. We still have till Saturday. A lot of opinions are out there. We're getting great two-way action on the parlays, I'll be honest with you, and teasers. You see the money line is only 125 at the Rampart and South Point, total of 48. Ohio State -2. I mean, people are expecting huge things out of Ohio State this year. That's why you're seeing them as the favorite against Texas, who really played very well last year. I mean, they were definitely one of the top teams in the country, and I think they definitely maintain that this year, slightly like Texas in this matchup, but it's so hard and difficult to gauge how Arch Manning is going to control the offense. We saw flashes last year. He looked really good, but this is a new season, new surroundings now. All the pressure is on Arch, and you're on the road, so it's going to be very difficult to succeed in this opening week, but I think as the season progresses, Texas is going to be a powerhouse.
Dwayne, I just want to at least bring up one thing because it's two. I know the rule that has been ingrained in my brain of don't bet college teasers, but I see.
Anytime you could use 6 points, Jeff, you got to help yourself.
But that's what
I
I
tell
see.
you, I love teasers, not college.
I love. Look, we are huge fans of NFL teasers on the desk, obviously, and a lot of sharp bettors are. Look, it's part of the reason that the prices have changed through the years on 6-point NFL teasers. They're historically great bets for the bettors, but I see Texas as a 2-point dog, and I'm like, wait a second. My brain is like, hey, move it to 8, but
8.
We know what happens if I put it in a teaser. Ohio State wins by 3 touchdowns. Arch Manning, Arch Manning looks like Mark Sanchez if that happens, Dwayne.
I love the jet reference. You always got to throw the jet reference in there. But I don't know. I mean, 8 points in this matchup, it's opening week. That's why it's so appealing. I mean, but, a couple of mistakes if Texas did happen to make some, especially defensively. You could see Ohio State capitalizing, and definitely they have a monstrous roster, a great defense. Top to bottom, they are one of the top 5 teams in the country. And always, it seems like Ohio State is always there. They're well coached. They know the pressure that is there at home and winning this opening week. That's what makes it so difficult to handicap and even to take Texas with 8 points. You're right, Jeff. This is a monstrous matchup for opening week. That's why I said, I wish it was like week 3 or 4. It would be so much more appealing and maybe easier to handicap. Right now, very difficult to handicap this game.
Another really tough one, Dwayne. We've got a huge game for both Brian Kelly and Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney and Clemson, I mean, they have very high expectations here for the ACC, returning a ton of guys and using the transfer portal. Clemson 4-point favorite at home, total 57.5 at the South Point. Any movement, any side or total?
Yeah, they're taking Clemson, Alex. I mean, rightfully so. Look at LSU's troubles off the field, basically, and in the offseason. And, I'm not so sure Brian Kelly has, control of his locker room. And I've went over this with Jimmy Ott and the boys in Baton Rouge. I'm on their show every week, and I question the control of the locker room and these players. I mean, it just seems that at times they're out of line. Dabo used the transfer portal so well this year and definitely is building a powerhouse to get Clemson back to where they were from the Lawrence days. And I definitely think Clemson is going to, bring it this game, but are they good enough to, compete with a team of LSU's caliber, even with the offseason troubles? That's the whole question. You're laying over a field goal. Okay, you're home, but I still think LSU has a chance in this game. It's just a question of how well coached they are, how much do the kids want it, and how much of that killer instinct could Mr. Kelly instill in these guys. That's the whole key. Clemson, we know Dabo is one of the top coaches in college football. He has been for the last 10, 12 years, in my opinion, and he always brings a nice product to the table. But this is also a revamped Clemson team as well. Maybe I'll take the points here, but another tough matchup. The public is backing Clemson. We opened the game at 3 at the Rampart and South Point, up a point as well on the total. 56.5 was the opener. We're seeing nice ticket count both ways, but slightly in Clemson's favor, and especially the parlays.
There is an argument in this game that the 2 best quarterbacks in the country are in this game, Kate Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. I am staying the hell away from this game. I can tell you that right now, because I think LSU is every bit as talented as Clemson, but Brian Kelly chirping Death Valley in Clemson seems like a bad idea. That's all I'll say. Yeah. That's all I'll throw out there on that. Even
that's the question with LSU. Is this the right fit, the right coach? I mean, when they first brought him in, you remember that initial interview where, like, all of a sudden he had the Southern twang.
He lived his whole life in Louisiana.
I mean, that's like me trying to talk with a Southern twang because I got hired now in Baton Rouge to run a racing sports book. You don't change your personality and your character. You bring trueness to the table, and that's what the question has been been with LSU since he has been the head coach. And like you said, that isn't a positive thing to do. It's, I guess, a motivational tactic, Jeff, but will it work? I'm not so sure. You got two monstrous quarterbacks here. Clemson is now ranked 4 in the country. Dabu built this team to succeed. They're definitely going to be, in their conference, they're going to be monstrous. Let's see how this plays out.
Dwayne, I want to go to Sunday, and this is another top 10 matchup in the AP poll. And Notre Dame, off of their national championship game appearance a year ago, they play 2 absolutely brutal games to begin the season, and then the schedule softens immensely. This one with Miami, and then they host Texas A&M in 2 weeks. But Dwayne, here you go. This opened Notre Dame 3, moved to 2.5 relatively quickly. He's been stuck there for about a month now. The total opened 54 and has just gotten hammered down to,
on the under,
to 49.5. So 4.5-point move over the last month. CJ Carr makes his collegiate debut, quarterback for Notre Dame. Carson Beck, of course, the high-end transfer from Georgia. I know a lot of people who didn't love him at Georgia, but again, this is the second consecutive year that Miami's had a big-time transfer. Cam Ward a year ago, and now Carson Beck here. Dwayne, what do you think on this one? This game is a very difficult one for me because I like the coach at Notre Dame and Freeman significantly better than Cristobal, but Miami might have the advantage for this individual game in almost every other category other than the defense.
Yeah, I think Carson Beck is going to catch them off, guard in this game. And definitely you could see they're not backing Notre Dame. They did initially because it's a key number of 3, but they're betting on that defense. You could see the 5-point move on the total. And this is what they're trying to back and push Notre Dame's narrative as the best defense in possibly the country. And like you said, way better head coach on the Notre Dame side of the ball. But I think that the offensive firepower of Miami and getting the 2.5 there, I like Miami in this game. I think Beck is definitely going to catch them off guard. I'm not so sure that a quarterback stepping in under the Notre Dame offense and, could definitely just ram it down Miami's throat. I don't see that happening. I like Miami in this game. Initial reaction, don't buy into it too much. It's a key number, and it got bet down. So it might get back to, I don't think, though, it'll get back to 3, looking at the ticket count and the money, so let's see how it plays out. Let's see how good Notre Dame's defense is. They have to flood the box. They have to get a lot of, pressure on Beck, make him make some mistakes. But an excellent transfer. Again, you saw what Cam Ward did, number 1 pick. Just a monster out there and led that offense very well last year. And, a lot of people, like you said, they were skeptical in Georgia, but in Miami, this is a different animal. I like Miami. I'll take the points here.
All right, Dwayne, I got to ask you one more college football game. It's a week from today. We'll talk about it on Labor Day as well. But Bill Belichick's coaching debut in Chapel Hill is on Monday in a standalone window. See, I can't even get through the question. Dwayne's already laughing at the whole concept in North Carolina, which can't really get on him for that. So, D.C., the line hasn't moved. You guys opened 3. It's been stuck at 3. Josh Hoover on the TCU side, a lot of people have him as a top-tier Big 12 quarterback. I do not. Gio Lopez is the quarterback for North Carolina, the South Alabama transfer. Total from 59 to 56.5. Dwayne, I got to be honest with you. If we talk about North Carolina in 4 months and he told me they went 3-9 and Belichick was a train wreck and it just didn't work, I'd say, okay, I can buy it. If you tell me North Carolina went 10-2, Gio Lopez has a huge year, North Carolina's pushing for the ACC title game because they have a joke of a schedule in conference, and Belichick turned out that it worked in college, I'd tell you, okay, I could see that. It's very hard to have a range like that in college football in 2025, DC, but here we are.
I don't know. Is Jordan Hudson holding the clipboard in this game? Come on. This is a wait and see, I guess, approach, but I would take TCU in this game. I mean, personally, I don't know what Belichick is doing in the offseason. Let's see what Gio brings to the table. But, is he going to be a master of the college game and step right in after a couple of years of inactivity, removed from the pro game, one of the best NFL coaches ever, coached Tom Brady, coached the Patriots to a dynasty. Now it seems though like he's moved on a little. I don't know if he, how the recruiting went. We're seeing him getting 3 points. September 1st, this game is TCU -3. 56.5 here. Not much movement. I think a lot of people are just, going to flip a coin on this one or take a back seat and watch and see how Belichick's approach is, how he, how the kids are receptive to him, and if he snaps on the sidelines, basically. You've seen him snap multiple times when he was the New England coach, but those are professional players. These are college kids, and I always stress that when you're a head coach and a new head coach, trying to get your point across to this younger generation is very, very difficult, especially when you're older, you're removed from the NFL. Now you're taking a step back, in my opinion, back to North Carolina. Let's see how it plays out. I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole. Watching Bill in the offseason, it seems like his girl is leading him around. It's more of a paparazzi attraction. His ex-wife has been outspoken. It's crazy in his personal life. And he, we know Bill is the best at what he does, but could he put this, on the side now and coach at a high level once again after retiring? I'm not so sure, guys, but I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to take that approach on this game. TCU -3, money line 150, if you want to take them straight up. That's another appealing, option. 56.5, no opinion on this game, Jeff.
Dwayne, one last one that comes from the chat. Rose Bowl on Saturday night. UCLA second year with Deshaun Foster as head coach. Nico Amaliava, of course, comes over in a very loud offseason for Nico from Tennessee. He hosts the Utes. Utes are 6.5. Of course, the last few years have just been injury-riddled years for Kyle Whittingham and his squad. Dwayne, from 5 to 6.5. Which is actually the biggest number to market on Utah. It's the best price on UCLA if you want it. Totals bounced around. It's been as low as 49.5 and as high as the current number of 52 for late Saturday night. This is your old Pac-12.
This is the bailout special.
This is Pac-12. This is Dwayne. It's Big 12, Big 10, but it's Pac-12 after dark if I've ever seen it here for this 8 p.m. start at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Yeah, this is a tough game to handicap. I'll be honest with you. I mean, this is a very, very late start, like you said. This is for all those people scrambling on the mobile app. They're going to be looking for action late. We opened it at 5, taking a ton of Utah money. You can see it. It's up to 6.5. Ticket count is off the chart on Utah. Everybody's back in Utah. Maybe UCLA has a chance in the Rose Bowl. I mean, total is at 52. I think we opened that one at 51, so it's up a tick. I kind of like UCLA just slightly, just because when the public steams a game like this, especially opening week, it doesn't always pan out. And especially when you're in the UCLA's territory and in their backyard, I think they have an excellent chance. Utah was injury riddled. Now they're starting to get healthy. That's why I see why the public is definitely backing them. We'll see how it pans out. I like UCLA, but just slightly. I wouldn't go crazy on this game. It'll be on the tail end of some of my parlays, but definitely getting plied with Utah money up from 5 to 6.5 at the Rampart in South Point.
I'll be with Dwayne taking the points there. I just think that's way too many points for this first week.
Yeah, definitely, Alex. Definitely. You're 100% right.
I wonder if we'll see a 7, especially if favorites have a big day. And this is, again, when it's the get right or get worse game. You can end up in a scenario where, again, a favorite that has been bet, if it gets a 7, it'll be a bet on UCLA.
Definitely.
I'm very interested to see both the quarterbacks in this game. Of course, Amaliava at UCLA now, and I'm interested to see what Devin Dampierre. How run heavy is this offense going to be for Utah, where Dampierre is able to move? Last year he would throw a lot in that high end New Mexico offense, but he used a lot of his legs, and he wasn't overly efficient in that New Mexico.
Utah
offense.
Will be running. Utah will be running.
I expect them to be ground and pound too, Dwayne. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see both of the quarterbacks in this game in new spots. Of course, Dampierre at New Mexico a year ago, and Amaliava.
And I was shocked to see the total get bet up on this one, just because of what we're talking about. And they're betting Utah. You figure ball control and definitely try to keep UCLA's offense off the field. This is a very tough game to handicap, but the points make it appealing, like Alex said, because it's very close. And if Utah can't get that ground and pound going, it's going to be a long night because I know UCLA will be looking to move the ball.
It'll be interesting to see UCLA late night. That's the last game of the night on Saturday. Again, can we go to about midnight Pacific? Oh man, the type of matchup.
Well, we love the West Coast. That's why.
Hey, like my friend DC, man, we've been salivating for something like that. We wanted Arizona, Hawaii that starts a half hour before that going until 11:30 at night. It was bizarre seeing Stanford and Hawaii on while it was still sunny in Honolulu. Like that's not right. That's not what that's not what a Hawaii game's supposed to be. More so than anything. He's our guy, Dwayne Colucci, race and sportsbook director up at the Rampart. DC, I'll see you bright and early on Saturday morning. How does that sound? I'll see you at 9 a.m.
I'll be there. I'll be there. It's going to be week 1 off the hook, video wall, 55-foot wall. Got great horse racing as well. I think the Pac Classic is coming up, isn't it, there, Jeff? Little journalism, NISOs, fierceness. Yeah, dabble that with about 150 college football games, and it's just great. The best place to watch a game is definitely the Rampart. We take care of our customers. The drink tickets will be passed out. We still got the jackpot cards. You got a couple of weeks for them. The 25,000. The mixed martial arts. They're tough enough. Over the weekend was off the hook. The book was packed. Just a fabulous feel. You got to join us at the Rampart. And if you can't, you got to be at the South Point. There's no other place to watch these games and enjoy a very competitive college football season up ahead, a great pro NFL season a couple of weeks away, a week from Thursday. We got the monstrous matchup of the Eagles blowing out my Cowboys. So keep an eye on that. I mean, I can't believe the game ain't over 7 yet. It's 7.5. I'm going to call Chris. Just make it 7. We're going to get crushed with Eagle money. But maybe Dallas will show up. Let's see. I mean, I was wrong this week. They definitely played well against Atlanta, so that was a positive sign. Jerry can't keep his mouth shut, though. He's still going on with this Parsons situation. It's so disheartening. So, join us Thursday night. It's going to be excellent. Then we will have the NFL Brazil game on Friday at the Rampart. Yep. And I know the South Point will have that as well. So, definitely exciting upcoming NFL action. And join us definitely this week, college football. You'll be able to shake hands with the master, Jeff Parles. He'll be right in the front row. As soon as my dad leaves, he sucks his seat right up. It's great.
Oh, well, look, if there's a seat next to your dad, I will be seated right next to him. Come on, I haven't seen Mike in a while, so it'll be good to go. By the way, here's the jackpot parlay card in my hand right now. As you see, $25,000 guaranteed. If it goes through 25K, it just goes into the pot. So no rake taken at all.
$5.
$5, as many cards as you want. Please do it before 9:35 a.m. on September 7th. Do it at any point before then. But hey, they'll still take the tickets. But get them in early and often.
I'll have a little frown on my face, but I'll take.
Hey, look, go take care of these. Get them in early and often here at the South Point and up at the Rampart.
It's unfortunate we don't get the Eagles Cowboys, but I'm very happy we don't have the Chiefs and Chargers on there for that Friday game.
I'm good with just the Sunday ones. I'm good with it.
Yeah. The very least. Yeah, it gets more handle, Alex, because people are like, oh, you had the Thursday game on there, you had the Friday game. We have to do the Sunday just so it markets better, definitely that way. And, you have until Saturday to put those in all day. You start including those Thursday and Friday games, you lose a little handle. Chris is a master at garnering handle. And, let's say congratulations to Mr. Vaccaro, too. Yep. Jimmy is, retired. And definitely he'll be sorely missed at the South Point, that white sweatshirt and just roaming around, his stories and the knowledge that he brought to the table. Just so great working with him. And it was a pleasure to call him a friend. I remember back in the days when I was running the small book at the Rampart and we weren't affiliated. But with the South Point, but Sid Diamond and Eric St. Clair brought me into the business. And, Sid was great friends with Jimmy. And he always said, when Jimmy was in between jobs, I remember he would come in. And even when he was still working, he would bet his parlay cards at the Rampart. And Sid was a character. I mean, Sid Diamond was the best. He'd have that cigarette in his mouth and he'd just tell me, Dwayne, give Jimmy whatever he wants. He's the best. So, when you learn with those old school bookmakers and you transpire that knowledge from what I learned back home in New York too, watching, a different scenario and a different setup, it's just great, and it just adds to my knowledge. And Jimmy's one of the top bookmakers I ever worked with in my life. And congratulations on retirement.
Absolutely. We, as we said on Friday, we love Jimmy. We'll miss Jimmy dearly through this football season ahead. Dwayne Colucci, Rampart Race and Sportsbook. Go visit him. Go visit him, especially now on these football weekends. Dwayne is one of the best on the planet at customer service, period. So always love hopping up there. And I'll see you on Saturday morning, Dwayne. I'll be excited for that. NY Bookie Dwayne on the tweets as well. DC, pleasure as always. We'll catch you again next week here on the show.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Alex. It's always a pleasure to join Sports by the Book. The best show there is, period. It's it. You have to watch this show if you want real knowledge, bookmaker knowledge, and handicapping knowledge. You throw in Alex, Kenny, unbelievable roster that we have here to bring the knowledge to you guys and the bookmakers. We're booking real action here. We're not blowing smoke. Ticket counts are accurate, that we talk about, line movement, where the money's coming from. We're always going to tell you both sides of the counter, and only Sports by the Book gives you that. I'm telling you, I see all these other places, just promoting their contests, whatever it is, their parking, whatever. I mean, come on. Always free parking at the Rampart in South Point. Always drink tickets at the Rampart. We take care of everybody. Definitely come out and see us, and don't miss Sports by the Book.
Dwayne Colucci, everyone, race and sportsbook director up at the Rampart. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, trivia question, baseball, and a little bit of college football as well from the two of us here on the desk. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio, live as always from the South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
Sports by the Book.
Sports by the Book.
Sports by the Book. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're landing me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Welcome back in at Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. A lot of chaos in the studio during the break, but we're here. We're in one piece. That's all that matters. Jeff Parles, Alex White. Big thanks to our guy DC, as always, hopping on every Monday. We're going to be seeing DC throughout the week moving forward. We'll have a Monday on Labor Day next week, but then we'll probably start seeing him later in the week as we move along through the football season. Alex, we got a lot of baseball to get to here on a Monday, a bigger card than usual. So let's just fire away here. And we'll start in Miami with Cabrera and Strider, Fish and Bravos. Braves salvaged the final game of that 3-game series against the Mets yesterday with a 4-3 victory. Marlins lose 2 out of 3 to Toronto. They also salvaged the final game yesterday where both teams were basically wearing the same color jersey, which, come on. What are we doing here? I know Toronto's technically more light blue and Miami's more green, but they look the same on bad colored televisions. Come on. Strider's been awful especially of late. He's been awful most of the year, but really bad in his last few times out. He is favored, though, -110. Cabrera, -105. Total 7.5. Alex, I think the wrong team's favored here, and I know I've been saying for a while now that Miami has gotten overvalued in the market, but the way Strider's pitched, especially his last 2 times out, I'm a little bit surprised that he is a favorite or a pick in the first 5 here today. I
think a pick is just right. Maybe a little bit. I've got a -112 here at home, so not much I want to jump in on to lay that -105, but I think you said it in your intro talking about Strider. 7.5 for one of his starts. And I know we've been talking about Cabrera and he's been pretty good, but I just think this should be closer to 8.5. Both of these teams were very competitive over the weekend against tougher competition. So I would lean to the over. I'm probably not going to play it though, but I think 7.5 is just too low for these two.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. Don't have an issue with that, Alex. And again, both of these teams going nowhere. Let's play out the string time, both in Miami and Atlanta. Again, a brutal year for the Braves in every which way you could have drawn up here in 2025. All right, let's go to New York next. This was going to be a big series, but the Phillies have the biggest lead of anyone in the National League in a division race, 7 games up on New York, even though it was not, even with the wins over the weekend, it was not a good weekend for Philly because Zach Wheeler is done for the year. He's going to need thoracic outlet syndrome surgery, which is going to mean we don't see him until the middle of next season, more likely than not. So that does put a damper on what was a good weekend against Washington for the Phillies. But they, again, equaling a season-high lead in the division, 7 games clear to Mets. Mets did win a series, but very easily could have swept that series in Atlanta, blew that game yesterday. Sanchez and Senga pitching on regular rest for the first time this season. Sanchez is -125. Senga's +110. The total 7.5 in Queens tonight. Again, Philly 7 games ahead of the Mets. The Mets a game and a half ahead of Cincinnati for the final wild card slot in the NL.
I like the Phillies here. I think -125 for the full game is a pretty good price here with Christopher Sanchez. Now, the Mets started. They did see him a little bit, but he only went 2 innings. He was pulled in that game April 22nd with forearm soreness. So this will pretty much be the first time seeing Sanchez, who has been fantastic. Senga has been up and down, a little inconsistent. This will be the first time that the Phillies see him. I just really am wanting to back the Phillies bats that have been pretty hot as of late. And I think Sanchez is the better pitcher. -125, I think that's a pretty cheap price. I think they should be -145 on the road here. So 20-cent difference. I'll jump in with the Phillies. Now, the Mets did take 4 out of 2 so far this season. So Phillies should be ready. They want to get there as well against their division foes. 7
games left between these two teams over the next 3 weeks. But again, 7 games, even if the Mets went 6-1, it's more likely than not happening. The Phillies now, in all honesty, where the Brewers, we'll get to the Brewers in a second. The Brewers are started to cool off a little bit. Things seem a little more open in the NL than they did while the Brewers legitimately are winning 41 out of 50 games. So someone did say in the chat they do like the Phillies, are worried about not having Zach Wheeler for the World Series. Which... Yeah, that was new chat, Star Wars 99. In there, again, look at the pricing. Mets are basically 10-1 to win the division. I would argue they should be closer to 15-1, 20-1 with this sort of deficit with only 31 games to go for both teams. Yep. All right, let's. Are you concerned though for them with Zach Wheeler out? I mean, the Phillies long term, they're not winning. To me, they're not winning a World Series without Wheeler. So obviously Sanchez has been tremendous this year. I know Ranger Suarez was awesome yesterday. I don't buy Ranger Suarez in a playoff spot. And Luzardo, again, he pitched in the playoffs against Philly when he was with the Marlins a few years ago, but that's basically it. So first time appearance. And then again, your depth, like Luzardo is a 4. Yeah, that's a really nice advantage. Luzardo is a 3. Yeah, it's not quite the same. You move everyone up, it just really changed that. And again, I don't know what I'm getting out of Nola at this point. Now it also pushes Nola into the rotation for the postseason, and I don't know what I'm getting out of him at this rate. I like, again, at this rate, it feels like one of the 2 NL West teams are going to win the NL pennant, even with all the problems the Dodgers have seemingly had and San Diego's inability to beat the Dodgers in Los Angeles. It feels like, to me, it's going to be one of those two teams coming out of the NL West and winning the pennant yet again here.
I know it was the Nats, but it was good to see Nola go 6 innings.
Yeah, Nola pitched pretty well.
So.
Pitched pretty well. Again, like you said, it was the Nats. Again, the Dodgers are still overwhelming favorites. I don't think they should be, but again, they just have been overwhelming favorites all year long. All right, let's go to the Brewers, who are the second favorite to win it all here at the South Point and up at the Rampart. Brandon Woodruff and Eduardo Rodriguez. Brewers start, again, back-to-back series losses for Milwaukee, where, again, just it's harder to play baseball when you're not getting 98% of the breaks like the Brewers did during that 50-game stretch. Woodruff and Rodriguez, minus 170 on Woodruff. Diamondbacks did take 2 out of 3 off the Reds over the weekend. Reds still haven't been swept, Alex. Salvaged the final game yesterday in Phoenix. Total of 8, minus 170 on the Brew Crew here tonight.
To your point here, Brewers just 4-6 in the last 10. I would lean to taking that big price here with the Diamondbacks. I know I'm kind of, stretching a little bit here with looking at Woodruff's starts and really diving into who he has pitched well against, because he didn't pitch great against the Cubs, went 4 1/3 and 3 earned runs in that one, and then pitched well against Pittsburgh, just 4. And then before that, it was the Mets when they were struggling, the Nationals we just talked about, Miami, Seattle, in Seattle. So I don't know. We'll see. I think this Diamondbacks lineup is still playing really good, and they've been one of the best all year long. So lean to taking that plus price. Now, Eduardo Rodriguez is very inconsistent. We know that on the other side as well. So he has the chance to get hit up too. Maybe I'm just talking myself more into an over, but I'd lean to the Diamondbacks as a big dog here.
Don't mind it on the price. That's a pretty darn good price. Again, Arizona's going to be on their way to finishing around 500 this year. Again, they're way out of it. As you see, Brewers still in command of the number 1 seed in the National League, but that lead is now down to 5 on the Cubs. By the way, I think if you can find a good Cubs price around 4-1, I would consider doing it. Chicago has the tiebreaker, and the Cubs' schedule is significantly easier than Milwaukee's down the stretch. So there are worse bets at around 4-1. I think the best price I saw this morning was plus 440 at Circa. If you wanted to take a shot on that on the Cubs, don't mind it. And Kyle Tucker starting to hit a little bit as well. So that's good for the Cubs. That's the number at DraftKings right now, plus 390. All right.
440, yeah.
That was Circa on that number. All right, let's go to the keep it in the NL Central, the bottom 2 teams, Cardinals and Pirates. Paul Skeens, I think, pretty much wrapped up the NL Cy Young yesterday. Now, granted, I know it was Colorado, but he was absolutely dominant yesterday. It'll be Oviedo and McGreevy in the gateway, the city to the gateway to the west. Minus 130 on the Cardinals, plus 115 on the Buccos, 7.5 the total. Alex, I have absolutely nothing to say about this game. Do you have anything to bet in this one?
No, we can go quick through here. I think that the Cardinals, that's a pretty cheap price on them, but I am not laying anything with the Cardinals right now. And the Pirates are playing hot. Come into this, 5 in a row, 5 wins, 4 straight wins for the
Sweeping
Pirates.
the Rockies, hey.
Yep. It helps. And it was at home, so it wasn't just Coors Field helping them out. So, but pass for me.
Let's go to Cincinnati next. Cincinnati and LA, I should say. In LA, Reds going to wrap up this long West Coast swing that they're on, where they've split the first 6, haven't lost any ground in New York in that time. No, Sheehan and Green. Hunter Green has thrown 2 absolutely spectacular games since coming off the IL, and he's an underdog tonight.
Yep.
Sheehan's minus 140, Green's plus 125. Total is 8. Reds game and a half behind New York entering tonight's action. Green is also an underdog in the first 5 at plus 105. That would be the way I would go here tonight. Don't even mess around with the Red bullpen. You know what? If Hunter Green gets beat by Emmett Sheehan, so be it. I'll take plus 105 first 5. Alex, I think that's a really good bet on Green. Plus price first 5 here tonight.
I'm with you. I definitely think that is the way to play this, especially with Emmett Sheehan. We saw him start really well, and then the last 2 outings, he definitely got hit up, gave up 5 to the Angels and 4 to the Rockies. I like the way the Reds are playing. I really like them first 5 and full game. I really still don't trust this Dodgers team, bullpen or their bats. And I also like that Green, the first outing, scoreless, 6 innings against the Phillies. He got hit up a little bit by the Angels. He gave up 3 earned runs, 6 hits, but did go 6 1/3. So, you're not waiting for a little bit of a letdown here. I think he pitches great here against the Dodgers, which he actually historically has, because that is where he's from. And the other 2 times in LA, he's pitched really well. So, Reds today.
Plus 105 first five, plus 125 for the game. Again, game and a half behind the Mets entering today's action for Cincinnati. All right, let's go to Baltimore next. Orioles beat up on the Red Sox last week, and then the Red Sox flipped around and took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees, where they almost completed, almost, the first sweep in the Bronx against the Yankees since the 1930s for the Red Sox, but couldn't quite get it done last night. It's going to be an opener today. Brendan Bernardino is going to open today for the Sox. Shigano on the other side for the Orioles. Minus 115 on Boston, even on Baltimore, total 9.5 at Camden Yards.
Wow, that's even moved a little bit, huh? No, okay, even money, that's right. I think that's a pretty good price here for Sagano, who has been really good in his last 5 starts. I mean, he's given up 1 earned run or fewer in 4 of the last 5. Chicago, the Cubs, were the only team to get to him at Wrigley. So I do like this side with the Orioles here plus money, but I don't know if it's enough for me to jump in. First 5 minus 105, that might be the better way to play it because it should be Richard Fitz coming in.
As the bulk guy today. Which, I mean, he hasn't been terrible, but he can definitely give up some runs and get hit here. So Orioles, I think, is the correct side. Minus 105 feels like a good price on Sagano. All right, let's go to Cleveland next. Ian Seymour and Tanner Bybee, your pitching matchup in Cleveland. The guards have pretty much just fallen out of the mix here in the American League playoff chase over the last few days. Now 5 back, pretty much done now for Cleveland. The Rays have been out of it. Minus 15 on Cleveland, even on Tampa. Total 7.5 in this one, Alex.
I really have nothing in this one if we want to skip over it.
Yep, we can. Let's go to Toronto next. First place Blue Jays taking on the Twins. Max Scherzer and Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan got hit up pretty good his last time out, but he is a dog here. Plus 125 on Minnesota, minus 40 on the Jays. A total of 7.5 with Scherzer on the bump. Again, Toronto entering today's action in the American League East in first place, 5 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox entering today.
It would only be an under in the first 5 between these two. I do think that Joe Ryan has a bounce back spot here. Now, you're right, he did get hit up by the Athletics, and it was at home. So I think he's been slightly better on the road. The numbers say it too, 2.44 ERA, sub-1 whip for him in his road starts. I think he'll pitch good here today. Scherzer has been much better than we give him credit for. 3 of his last 5 starts, just 1 earned run, going 6, even 7 innings. So I think he'll be fine in the first 5. So, yeah, that's definitely going to make my board here. First 5 under for me.
No issue with that. And again, Ryan, you expect to bounce back after a tough start his last time out. All right, let's go to south side of Chicago. Noah Cameron against Smith of the White Sox. KC loses 2 out of 3 over the weekend in Detroit. A bizarro 17-run outburst between those two teams yesterday. But Kansas City did salvage the final game at Comerica. 3 games behind Seattle entering this week of play. Again, they're really the 7th team, if you want to consider them fully in it, in the American League wildcard chase. I think it's a pretty good price on Noah Cameron, right? And minus 130, get a plus 125 on the run line, laying the 1.5, guaranteed 9 at bats with the road team. This might be a little bit on KC money line and a little bit on KC run line here today with the Royals. Again, still only 3 out of a playoff spot. White Sox, nowhere near as bad as a year ago, but well on their way to being the worst team in the American League again.
I agree with you, especially, I mean, the Royals have kind of owned the White Sox. They are 8-2 so far this year. But the only thing that scares me a little bit is the White Sox did just see Noah Cameron just August 15th. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run. Really two strikeouts and 2 walks, so nothing great. Kind of got out of there and was pretty fortunate. So that kind of makes me a little bit nervous here. I'm going to stay off of it, but I agree. I think that's a pretty cheap price. I think Noah Cameron and the Royals, who have been playing very good, should be closer to $1.50.
Up next, Alex, let's go to Texas. Angels and Rangers. Rangers back to 500, but still 4.5 games out of the American League wildcard chase behind Seattle. It's DeGrom and Soriano. DeGrom was skipped his last time, so a little extra rest for DeGrom here at minus 170. Soriano's plus 155. The total was 7.5, just got bet down a few moments ago to 7 now on this one with the juice on the over.
I agree with that move, too. I do think this is an underplay here with these two. I do like Soriano. And looking at their home and away, Jose Soriano on the road, his median numbers going between 6 and 7 innings, just 5 hits, 1 to 2 earned runs for him. And DeGrom at home, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts to 1 walk. So I think the extra time will definitely help Jacob DeGrom if he was having some fatigue. And then on the other side, I do like Soriano. So it would be an under first 5 for me in this one as well.
Can't really blame you. Only look at that again. Texas still on the edge fringe of being in the playoff chase. All right, here's an interesting one tonight. Tigers on the road in Sacramento, and it's Tariq Skubal here tonight in the minor league ballpark against JT Ginn. Skubal's this is actually a big price variation across the market. One of the markets at minus 210.
Yeah.
But here at the South Point, it's minus 185 on Detroit. So the best price in the market on Skubal tonight. And also, too, not an overly aggressive run line on Detroit with Skubal at minus 115, laying the 1.5. Now, as always, in Sacramento, we have to tell you what the weather is with the wind here tonight at Sutter Health Park, and it is 90 degrees with the wind blowing out the dead center. So, Alex, what do we do here? Do we take Detroit? Do we just rely on Skubal to be able to pitch in a minor league park with this hitter's haven that has been this year with the wind blowing out the center? I think that'd be the only way I would look here in this one.
I don't know, because the Athletics got to him on the road. They had 6 hits, 4 earned runs, and 6 innings pitched. So, I mean, I think that's part of the reason why this total is so high, and I think it could almost be 9 here between these two. I definitely think JT Ginn can be hit up as well from this Tigers offense. So I'm going to stay away, definitely, but I don't know. I worry about Skubal against this lineup and in this ballpark. So pass for me, even though minus 1.5, minus 115 definitely is tempting. But on the other side, taking a plus 165 with this Athletics team, I could see that as well. So nothing in this one.
Interleague games, only 2 today, and we start in the Bronx, the Yankees and the Nationals. Lord and Schlittler here tonight, and the rookie is a minus 240 favorite at home with a total of 9. I will say this. I know this is kind of weird to say because it was not a particularly good weekend in Philly, but the Nats, they came back on Friday night. They lost 2 close games to the Phillies. The Nats have been playing a little bit better recently than their second worst record in the National League indicates. But again, I think the Yankees are just happy to see the Red Sox leave town after what was a 3 out of 4 series win for the Bo Sox.
I'm with you, Jeff. The only way I would play this is taking that 2-1 here with the Nationals to win this game. I mean, definitely don't like what I saw from the Yankees over the weekend against the Red Sox, and I just think that number's too big here. I think Brad Lord has been pretty good. I mean, really, the Mets are the only ones who really got to him, and that was at home. He pitched great in Houston, great against the Giants, so I like it. I think there's some value there. I think minus 240 is way too much on this Yankees team right now.
Last one, really fun series in Seattle. Padres and Mariners, Sears and Miller, your pitching matchup tonight up in the Pacific Northwest. We've talked about it. Bryce Miller has been even though Hancock has been power rated as the weakest starter in that rotation for the most part. Miller has been the worst guy in that Seattle rotation this year. Sears, not a lot of sample size in San Diego. It's mostly been not particularly great so far. Since the trade, we was in the Miller deal. Minus 120 on Seattle, plus 05 on the Padres, a total of 8. Alex, I'm going to stay off of this. I think all these numbers are pretty spot on here.
A little tempted to take the plus price with the Padres. Full game here. I mean, they do have definitely one of the best bullpens. I do trust JP Sears more than Bryce Miller. To your point, I mean, we didn't see him. He was in AAA or AA most of July, and he just really hasn't gotten back into midseason form there. So it would only be a take on the dog in this one, too. I wish I was getting a little bit more than plus 105. If it gets to plus 110, I'll definitely jump in on the Padres.
All right, there you go. That's the baseball card here for Monday, the 25th of August. Final week of August. Excited to get even more football for you throughout the week as well. Our guy, Sammy P, is going to join us tomorrow. We're looking forward to that. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get the whiteboard. We'll say bon voyage here on a Monday. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, and NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
We're back in at Sports by the Book here on a Monday, South Point Studio. She's Alex. I'm Jeff. Trivia question before we get to the whiteboard here today. And we're going to the world of golf. Golf Hall of Famer Ben Hogan won his first of 9 career majors at the PGA Championship on this date in 1946 at Portland Golf Club. Of the 4 golf majors, which one did Hogan notch the most wins at in his career? Again, Hogan is one of 6 career golfers in the modern era to complete the career Grand Slam that, of course, Rory McIlroy completed earlier this year to make it a six-person club. And Hogan won the most U.S. Opens of all of it. 4 United States Opens for Hogan. Won the Masters twice, won the PGA twice, and only won the Open Championship across the pond once in 1953. It was actually the last major that Hogan won in his career, and it was needed to complete the career slam, and he did it. So the correct answer is the U.S. Open, and Nick gets the win. He only has to win once of these last 4 days to win the month of August over JR yet again. So Nick, 1 away from getting it done here in the month of August. All right. Also, the poll today was which starting quarterback in college football has the highest expectations. 41% of you went with Bryce Underwood. I just wonder if you guys just saw that Underwood was starting today and said, "Oh, we're just gonna pick him because he's won today." Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with the poll on that one. I don't think Underwood's expectations are as high as people think. Next year, oh yeah. Year 2, oh yeah, think so for sure. This year, yeah, maybe not as not. True freshman. How good can you truly be as a true freshman here in year 1 at the University of Michigan? All right. Whiteboard time here on a Monday. Alex, get us going here with some baseball here to wrap up the show.
Hopefully our 2 trivia champs don't get mad at me because I did put the Reds on my board, but I think they can do it. I'm going with your way, though. So starting off with the favorite, I'm taking the Phillies, -125. Christopher Sanchez on the bump here to get the win over the Mets in this first game. Reds, first 5, Hunter Green, +105. I'm with you. You really can't pass that up here against the Dodgers. And then I like 2 first 5 unders or full game unders, however you want to play it. I'm going to go first 5 and stay consistent with that. Twins, Blue Jays, first 5 under 4. And then Angels and Rangers, first 5 under 4 as well.
There you go. A lot of first 5 flavor here today for Alex. Reds first 5 is my favorite one today. I don't want to mess around with the bullpens. I'm not a fan of that. And especially when we got the better starter, too, and get a plus price. The Dodgers, again, in a tie with the Padres entering today's action in the National League West. San Diego took 2 out of 3. But again, the Dodgers own the season series, so the Dodgers just have to end up tied after 162 in order to win the National League West yet again. All right, that's what we got for you. Of course, we're live every Monday through Friday right here on the show, 10 a.m. Pacific time at the South Point Hotel and Casino here in lovely Las Vegas. Of course, our first football frenzy occurred on a Friday last week at noon. Be on the lookout again. We have 2 shows on Friday now. 10 a.m. gets you for the day ahead. 12 noon gets you ready for the whole weekend ahead in football, college and NFL Please join us every Friday at noon for Football Frenzy with Alex, myself, Vinny, Maliulo, and Chris Andrews, the 2 Hall of Fame bookmakers. All right, we're back tomorrow. Sam Panianovich, hey, I pronounced his name right, of Chicken Dinner, BetMGM Network, joins us tomorrow to give us a lot of good college football plays for the season ahead. He also today, once again, said he's on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. So maybe we'll throw in a question of that as well. She's Alex. I'm Jeff. We'll see you tomorrow. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.